Hello, one and all, and welcome to another episode of Baggers Chat. My name is Mitch Pattinson, and as always, I'm joined by Ethan Duffy. And of course, we are reviewing the Carlton v Western Bulldogs game that just occurred on a Saturday night. Carlton, of course, 8 goals, 11.59 to Western Bulldogs, 11 goals, 13.79. 20-point loss. We hit the front in the last quarter for the first time of the game. We led for about 5 minutes. I think for that last quarter, and then we just went to absolutely shit. We didn't know how to handle the game. But first things first, Duffy boy, more importantly, how are you? How was your birthday week? And hopefully Carlton didn't spoil your week too much.
Oh, mate, they've been spoiling weekends for me my whole life. But yeah, no, it's been a good week, but that just makes it worse. I'm not really sure where we are as a club right now. We're in the dark depths of fucking, I don't know where. Where are we? What are we? Middle of the table again.
Yeah.
Middle of the table again. We're not making finals.
Yeah.
Put a line through it. The way we're playing, sorry, we'll somehow be in the 8 by the end of the round, and everyone will go, "Oh, we'll be right. We've got a chance."
Yeah.
We're Collingwood this way. Collingwood, Sydney away. They've been shit, but we'll make them look good, right? We'll make them look good.
No,
and then they'll pull up pants down. They'll fucking pull their pants down. And then Essendon the week after. So, but based on tonight's game, that first half, the first half, 10 points. I was laughing at Hawthorn for having 9 points in the Melbourne game at halftime. And like, when was the last time that happened?
I don't even know.
1 goal.
Yeah. Yeah.
1 goal. Like, that's just, it's actually incredibly hard to do because we had the ball.
Yeah.
Like, I thought today from our back 50, we were actually moving the ball a little bit better in terms of we're going inside, we're taking risks. We weren't going, the switches back and forth weren't happening tonight, which I was actually happy with.
Yeah.
Knew he was trying to get in the middle and it broke the game open a little bit. It was just more that final kick inside 50. Charlie's on the lead, just hit the bloke.
Yeah.
Hit the bloke. Yeah. Skill error. What's going on, man? Like, there's an AFL team, man. We can't make finals if we keep doing that. That's our game plan. I was talking about it on the way home to my parents. Well, what's the game plan? What is it, Vossy?
I don't
think we have one ahead.
I literally was looking halfway through that third quarter. I couldn't see a game. Western Bulldogs side of things, there was a system. Our side of things, it looked like we were just hacking it forward and hoping for the best. Did you see the same thing?
Yep. And it's like, you can't play consistent footy without a system, a game plan. You know, good sides, when they're struggling a little bit down, they stick to the system.
Yeah.
And they know if they lose the game, they know what they need to fix. Yeah. We have so many different holes in our game that it's just, it's unbelievable. Like, they were no good tonight. So how many weeks has this happened? We make the opposition win. We are so easy to beat. We're so easy to beat. It's unbelievable. It feels like we have to climb up Mount Everest to get a win every week from now on. These teams just rock up, have a few kicks, warm up. Oh, imagine rolling up playing against us. Yeah. Easy beat, predictable, can't hit a target. Like, they got Alex Keith and Liam Jones back there. Alex Keith's running off half back, Pato.
Yeah,
man. The guy can't even. He runs. Initial thoughts in the bin.
Yeah, because I reckon the amount of times that we were seeing out of there. So when they were kicking out of their out of our forward line, of course, out of their back line, the amount of times that they used the wings and got it straight away within 2 kicks to the center of the ground for a boundary throw. It kind of seemed like we wanted that to happen so we could get the contested ball back. But I could see the different setups between our forward line to their forward line and different setups. And when it was in our forward line and they were kicking out, it would be the exact opposite of when the exact opposite when they were in their forward line and we were kicking out. It would be the exact opposite because they would be manning up and they would be trying to cut off the angles so they can't get an easy kick out. So, of course, 20-point loss. Once again, it's another 20-plus point loss. I mean, of course, with 20 points. 21-minute mark, AJ, which is, of course, Jones, kicked the goal. 23-minute mark, Bailey Smith kicked the goal. 25-minute mark, Ugle Hagen kicked the goal, which put the line through the game. 31-minute mark, of course, we gave Scott another goal, which, of course, he kicked 3 goals to finish the game. In that final 10 minutes, Daff, what happened?
Oh, you look at that and go, fuck. Honestly, it was probably, I was checking the time when we hit the front, it was probably 6 minutes 30. So from 6 minutes 30 when Charlie kicked that goal, obviously that's 10 minutes of, stoppage time and all that stuff. But fuck, like it was the mids again, heads down straight away. Once probably Bailey Smith's goal went through, I thought, I think we're in some trouble because we can't find enough ways to score. And that's the issue. You can't win games. You can't be playing from behind if, I thought we were really good in that last term in terms of actually having a crack, and especially at the back end of the third quarter. But the frustrating thing is you got to do that for 4 quarters at this level of footy if you want to be a good footy team. And I was saying to someone else, another Carlton supporter I was just messaging, and it's a typical Carlton game. We've seen it for years, Pato. Guys our age have seen it. They suck us in. We stay the whole game because they don't get smashed. You can't leave early because you go, fuck, we're a chance here, and then you get in the front and you fucking come on, you get up and about out of your seat, which I definitely was when we're hitting the front, and then and you still lose by 20. They even still lose by 20.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable. This club keeps doing this every year.
Yeah. It is absolutely unbelievable that I actually saw when Scott kicked that goal at 31-minute mark. I turned to my mate, Jacob, who I always go to the footy with, 20 points again. It was we were just in front. We were just in front.
I know.
And within a blink of an eye, 20 points. Yep. And it's just, once again, you turn to the game management, but you also turn to that first half. What on earth was that? How I want to try and keep a lid on it because I don't want to absolutely go blowing overboard. I mean, it most likely will go down that boy, but that first half, how from the amount of speculation this club went through the week with just every media person having a crack at this club saying this club isn't good enough, this club's mediocre, and I was starting to agree. I'm like, God, this club is starting to look very mediocre, very overrated, just an average football club.
Yeah.
At first bounce, like it literally, I think Aaron Norton was the first person to mark that inside. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like, I reckon straight as soon as that happened, when he marked that inside 50, it was probably like 5 minutes into the game. He marked it. I'm like, what? Well, I thought it would be a little bit more intensity. I thought, I reckon Carlton supporters in general were pretty up and about, and they always ask, bring the energy. We thrive under that energy, and we always lift our level. Did they lift their level?
No, at all.
I'm sorry, but if they're and we'll also touch on about Luke Sayers, the first time that he's come out to, of course, speak about the club since probably round 10, round 11 last year. So he's come out of hiding, of course, Daffy boy. But I think we'll transition now into, of course, just the initial thoughts. We've kind of touched on a few things, but of course, we give him another chance to just to see if they can really restart their game plan or whatever it is to charge towards the finals. But once again, is the same shit. And before we touch on a little bit more with stats and stuff, injuries, of course, Ollie Hollands was subbed off. It said subbed injured, but I don't think it was anything like too serious. I know that he just came off. He came off at the end of the third quarter, 3/4 time, and it didn't really look like he was injured. It was more the players kind of getting around him because, I mean, he was subbed off for the first time. He didn't want to put his head down because he was having a genuine crack tonight. So what did you think of Holland's game? And of course, with the sub Ed Curnow, with summing him in at that time, and of course, the sub is meant to have that extra pace and that extra skill for that final quarter. What did you think of that?
I completely agree with Ollie. I think in our preview we were saying a rest, but fuck, if he's playing like that, he doesn't deserve a rest. He does not deserve a rest. And like you said, he had a crack. He hit targets. He tried different things. He had a lot of one-on-one contests where he did win, especially on the wing. Some big contests late in that third quarter, which was big. His running capacity is just fantastic, and it's pretty fucking sad when a guy 19 years old has more fucking kahunas than 80% of these blokes. But with the sub, it's tough, I think. You play Eds plays that weird role where it's more half forward, you put him mid. There's no consistent position, you know what I mean? Like he's kind of filling a couple of holes, and I guess we played pretty decent for the last quarter, which he did play in, but his impact wasn't massive. But our depth isn't good enough to have a good sub. It's pretty fucking sad, really. Like, people go, oh, the twos, we've got some good players in there. And I think it's time for a Paddy Dow, or I don't know, maybe not. He's probably not good enough either. But it's sad. And, you look at that restart, their charge towards the finals. It's not happening. It's not happening. I know there's 15 more games, and I'm already starting to give up. And I'm not that type of bloke in terms of Carlton. I've watched a lot of football, and I'm always kind of the more optimists rather than the pessimists, which I know a lot of people are pessimists, which fair enough. They've shown nothing over 10 years, 20 years. So, it's dark times currently, dark times.
And you touched on there, I guess, about how we show our support, our positive. I mean, I know that we're both very positive towards the club. We always give them a chance.
Yep.
How many chances can this club get, Daff? Because next, I was thinking tonight, if we lose this game, and I think we mentioned it at the start of the episode, if not before we actually press record, but it's how do we get ourselves up for next week? Because if we came off a win today, a win against the Dogs, go through the game vision throughout the week, get that energy up and going for Sunday 3:20 against the Pies. Who knows? Like they still might have the energy because, of course, it is the arch rivals. So I think there always is that little bit of energy around the club. But I was just sitting there, and as a supporter, I'm like, how am I going to show up next week? I mean, I know that we will, but how am I going to actually turn myself to knowing that Collingwood's top of the ladder? They're most likely on their way to winning another flag the way that they're going. How are we going to try and turn up? So I guess you touched on there about Paddy Dow. Is there maybe a chance for him to maybe come in as a sub, or do you more seeing him come in as a genuine player in the best 22?
Oh, it's tough, man. Like, you look at the midfield and you go, there's no way he gets in. But I thought, a guy who's obviously in the kind of Dow role in terms of Kennedy, I thought he was good tonight. Finally fucking showed. He has fucking kahunas.
Yeah.
He goes hard ball. I know there's a few times where he's a bit dropsy with his fucking balls. There's a few times, everyone was a bit, there was a few moments there where you just take the fucking ball.
Yeah.
Take the fucking ball. But with Dow, you gotta start looking at the twos, whether it's a fucking Lockie Fogarty, Jack Carroll. I don't know. But with that team we have, I thought Cotters was okay tonight. He just does his thing, which he's fucking role, mate. He does his role, plays his role for Christ's sake. I did like him, and obviously always came in, which was a massive in for us. If we didn't have him tonight, Jesus, he's having a fantastic year, and credit to him because he copped a lot of shit from fans, he just didn't warrant any shit. Like at the start of the year, everyone's like, "Why is he in the best?" Da, da, da. That's why he's in the best. He's our best small forward.
Yep,
kicks goals. Thirds and Mots don't kick goals. And I think it's almost time to even bring in a Fogarty or something for Dirds or Mots. A bit more experience, something, you know what I mean, against a Collingwood. Be a bit more unpredictable, you know what I mean, in terms of selection. But yeah, I don't know what else to say, Pato. But with Dow, you probably, if you're going to play him, you're going to play him, aren't you? I think he's that type of player. Yeah.
And with Paddy Dow, I think he's the type of guy that I reckon we kind of need to try and play him over the next few weeks because he might actually leave the club at the end of the year and find another club. So it's whether we see it as we need to get him to try and have a few games to see if he's willing to stay, or if we actually see him in our future moving forward, which now I'm starting to rethink what is the future for this club? Because we mentioned the past few episodes after our big losses against St Kilda and of course Brisbane, where do we see? Oh wait, no, because I think you were doing the review for the St Kilda game, of course, but I think we were just kind of speaking about in the Brisbane game, like we are in year 8 of this rebuild, and we're now looking towards like Harry Mackay, Charlie Curnow, Patrick Cripps, Jacob Wiedering, all these guys, Sam Walsh. Walsh is 22. All these guys that are now should be in the peak of their powers to perform week in, week out. And now that we are seeing once again a 59 score that we performed on Marvel, and we also scored 3 points for the first quarter, 10 points for the first half. And you see supporters, the moaning and just the, oh my God, is it happening again? It is happening. It's happening again. And this ball use, and we have to touch on it. The first half, mistakes, brain fades, unforced errors. That's probably the 2 words that we only see in tennis. But somehow Carlton are actually making some unforced errors, Daffy boy. But ball use, absolutely shocking. And Daff, what is the reasoning for that? Do they do enough skill use? Do they do enough skill work through the week of training?
Oh, they have to. You're playing AFL footy. I think they're just overthinking all the time. Yeah. They take that extra second. How many times, I don't know if you noticed this, but last few weeks, we put ourselves under pressure and we force ourselves to kick on our non-preferred foot. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you get me? Like the ones where Doc did it in the first quarter and remember, he got the handball off Pitt and he goes on his left foot.
Yeah.
What are you running on your left foot for? And then, I don't know who else it was. Might have been Lewis Young with one of his another terrible. He was okay tonight, but like just these brain fades, like as it says on the points, and unforced errors all the time. You're not winning games with unforced errors unless that's your style of play. Chaos ball. You know what I mean? Like Richmond. I went to the Richmond Geelong game last night. I'll tell you right now, our efficiency would have been better. I know that sounds fucking weird because our efficiency's at an all-time fucking low. But Richmond, they drive the ball. They hunt the footy. That's the way they win. That's their system.
Yeah.
Their system hasn't been holding up the last few weeks because they've been struggling. But their system is all systems go, isn't it? The pressure, that's how they win.
Yeah.
Last night, that was a Richmond game.
Yeah.
Richmond game. What's our game? What is our game? Last year was brutal. Hard of the footy, scoring in waves, kicking 8 goals in a quarter. You know, that quick goals. Now, like, the games we've won this year, do you know, it's not even a style of game. Like the Giants game, awful. Yeah. That wasn't a Carlton game. Even North for the first half, shocking in the Good Friday game.
Yeah.
Second half, we lifted. But we can't even put 4 quarters against North. Waverley would beat fucking North. Like I'm trying to make light out of a terrible situation because we were talking about this 2 years ago on Baggers Chat, 2021. Talking about coaches. Talking about it's happened again. The moans, like you said, it's embarrassing. We are laughing again.
Yeah.
We're a joke. We're like, you got to say, when we're down, the AFL loves it. They love it. Every team loves it. Because when we were up last year, you knew that little bit of jealousy. When we got our little pep in our step, they don't like it. And I'll tell you right now, you know, what Mum said back in 95 winning flags, they hated us. They hated us because we're good. Yeah. And look at us now. We are a joke. I'm looking through my Instagram, you know, looking through. Next minute, Harry Mackay's snap missing by 40 meters, and then there's another meme, and there's another meme, and there's more memes. When is it going to stop? Turn up to the footy and be proud that I'm a Carlton person. Yeah. And why we do it every week.
And
like, we block out stuff in our weekend sometimes to watch this team.
Yeah.
Like, that's sad, really.
Yeah,
like, I could be going down the Yarra, enjoying a night out with the boys, but I go and watch these fucking dickheads. There's nothing else really to say. Like, coaches, underpumped.
Yeah, spot on.
what Voss could be. We keep playing like that. He's gone.
Yep.
He's gone.
Yep.
I don't want to say it. I'm not that type of person. I know you aren't either. We back the coach.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And
I said in round 4, fix these things. We haven't fixed them. It's
yeah.
round 9.
Yeah.
10. It should be done. You know, you have a shit period. You fix those things over. It takes time sometimes.
Yeah.
We haven't even fixed any of it. It's gotten worse.
Yeah.
It's gotten worse. And it's, I'll hand it off to you because I'm just fucking done, mate. I'm just done.
I think, especially with Carlton, I think we were definitely found out after round 11 last year. So we were found out, and we probably kept the same sort of system week by week till the end of the year, which is okay. That's okay. Because we were still competing against the good sides. We were still testing Melbourne to a 4-point loss. We were still testing Collingwood to a 1-point loss, who were, of course, who of course made the prelim and was 1 point off the grand final. This year, it seems a little bit more defensive, which we were like, okay, well, that's exciting because we know that we're still going to be pretty fucking attacking. So that's when I was pretty excited. So I'm like, well, especially in the practice game as well, when we played against Collingwood, I'm like, this looks good. This is really good. So I was actually optimistic because, I mean, I know that we weren't playing the best football, but no team ever plays great in practice games. So you kind of get used to it. We are, so round 10 next week, and we still look like we are learning a brand new system, and we still look like that there's been 10 or 15 players added to this club, and the chemistry isn't there. We've added Akers, Hollins, Cowan, Binns, Lemmy, maybe O'Keefe as well. They were probably the 6 that come to my mind. 2 of those players are playing every week. Cowan's played as well. That's 3 players. All clubs do this. Every single year, they bring in 3 to 4 players every single year, if not more.
You did the right thing.
Yeah. And 100% we did the right thing. And it's more with now, I just don't understand what it is, because I look out there on the ground and the talent out there on this ground is endless. It is endless. You have a common medalist, Harry Mackay, which is another conversation as to how. There's another common medalist, of course, Charlie Curnow. You've got a Brownlow medalist as our captain, Patrick Cripps. You got an absolute superstar, young superstar, Sam Walsh, who looked a little bit more to himself. I think he was probably 3rd or 4th in the game of meters gained. I know that he got at least 400 meters gained, which is great. Which is great to see, because that's probably been his big thing the past few weeks, that he wasn't using those meters gained, and that was just shit meters gained. But he looked right back to his Walshy self. So 29 touches, of course, 1 goal, but the talent is absolutely endless out there. Daff, why aren't we better?
I'll bring it back to Adelaide last year. Okay, Adelaide game. I went over to Adelaide. I think it was 3rd quarter. Might have been down 15 points. And I knew it was done. I knew it was done. You can tell that's how we play. We just heads down, done. I was talking to my mum. She's a big blue bagger. Comes with me every week. You know, she was going, look at the forward line. Harry Mackay, Charlie Curnow, and TDK was there at the time. He was, pretty good player, pretty decent player. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Clubs would die for Charlie Curnow.
Yeah.
Like, imagine him in a team like Melbourne or Geelong.
Oh
my God.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. He'd kick 100.
Yeah.
Like the Dogs. Well, I know the Dogs have got some forwards, but, Charlie Curnow is one of a kind.
Yeah. Every club, every single club out there wants Charlie Curnow. But the other question also is on Harry Mackay. What has happened? So what would you put that down to? Because I see it more as mentality, but was his common medal season kind of a fluke? Because even last year last year he was still solid, but we kind of were like, we're so happy because we were like, he's just off Coleman. That's okay. Charlie Curnow's playing even better. Now that Curnow's still getting better. Curnow. Now Mackay's dropped a absolute shit ton. What's that down to, Daff?
Well, I think personally with Harry, I think he does all the other things right.
Yeah.
I think, around the ground, I think he's great. Taking marks. It's just that mentality in front of goals, man. Like, I don't know if you heard it tonight, but when he took the shot, I'm not sure when he took the shot, but he marks the ball and everyone's moaning.
Yeah.
Key forwards marking the ball inside of 50.
Mm.
That is unbelievable. Like, we're here going, hit a target. And I heard a guy behind me going, don't kick it to Harry. That shows you.
Yeah.
That is the answer. I don't think he's good enough currently.
Mm.
In front of goal, like I said with Cripper, moments come with Harry. Has he ever like delivered
No.
at a big moment?
No.
Like a big moment. I'm telling you, moments in a football game are massive. Whether it's the first 10 minutes of the first quarter or the last 2 minutes of the last quarter.
Yeah.
Hit the goal, momentum. Momentum's huge for this side.
Yeah.
In the way we win in every side, isn't it? Like, look at the momentum we had today. And then all of a sudden you turn over a kick that you just don't need to be turning over, and then it goes out and goal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People go, they won't think about that moment in the third quarter with 15 minutes to go in the third.
Yeah.
They'll think about one last moment in the last quarter.
Yeah.
Too late
Mm.
in the last quarter. Too late. First half, like you said, 10 points. It was about 400 moments in the first half where we could have hit goals, and we didn't. Motlop shank, Cripps shank, Mackay shank, and Walsh shank in about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah. Walsh's miss was bad. Walsh's miss was shocking. Because even his set shot was pretty bad, but even his the shot when he had it in the pocket and he hit the point post. I'm like, what is happening here? And Luke Power at halftime, of course, spoke about where he's chat. We won't really speak about what he said about Jesse Motlop because I'm sorry, but I don't give a shit about Jesse Motlop and signing him on. I don't give a shit. Tell me about the game. So he touched on about the efficiency inside 50 and, of course, converting. Yeah, well, mate, we know this. Why is this happening? Why is that happening, and why didn't it improve? The efficiency inside 50 was probably the worst I've ever seen it. And that is
seriously.
But generally, when I think about it, I'm like, I don't, and I was probably I don't think I've ever been more angry than what I was tonight, because I was looking around at the ground and I'm like, Western Bulldogs are playing probably even worse than us for their standard. No, like genuinely, they were so shit. They were
no impact. No impact.
Yeah, no impact.
The game, and we still lose by 20.
Yeah.
Caleb Daniel was running rings around it in the last quarter.
Yeah.
I know he's a good footballer, but
yeah, he was. Yeah,
pick him up.
Yeah.
There's got to be a coach going, get on the phone to fucking George Hewitt and go fucking pick him up.
Yeah.
We're all front runners. We're all going forward with the ball. Forward.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So a question with Daniel, because I know that he was probably one of the most impactful players from a Western Bulldogs point of view. And I was saying, when is someone going to pick up Caleb Daniel? Does that mean that maybe Ed Kerno comes in? Also, I've got this thing right here. That I don't know why I found it here. I'm so out of it. I've got this thing on my finger. I don't know why I just put it on. But do you think that's why Ed Kerno comes in to tag? Do you reckon that's why we had him as a sub? Because I know I was pretty optimistic about this, because I want Ed Kerno to come in to tag. If Bontempelli was dominating, tag. Liberatore, tag. Joe Hannison was running ring absolute.
He's shit. He's done. He's finished, and he's doing that. Yeah. 1-2 handballs off kickouts.
Yeah.
1-2. Oh, we're just watching Joe kick the first goal of the game. That's embarrassing. That was a turnover.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, back to your point, like, there's a problem if we have to tag Caleb Daniel.
Yeah.
Realistically, I'm not trying to be mean to the bloke, but fuck, like, if Bond's struggling, who's the superstar of their team, and you got a guy who's 4'1" running rings around us, like, obviously a great player with ball hand, nothing against him, but that's a problem. Yeah. It's not about tagging. It's more about just keeping aware, you know what I mean? Like, keeping touch of your man, stoppages. just every time he was always at the back. Like he'd always be on the defensive side of a stoppage. I kept watching it. It was hurting my head. But you see it's a local footy when, sometimes there's a guy, on that kind of defensive side, that sweeper in terms of a stoppage. You just pick him up. Pick him up and make him work off him. You know what I mean? Work off him. I don't mind that. It's just that when you give him space and he weaves around because he's a good kick. Yeah. And you just can't afford to have that. And Bont not playing good and we still lose. Wow.
Yeah. And the amount of times that they use that sweeper was unbelievable. And the amount of times they had 2-on-1. And the amount of times in that first quarter that we kicked it into either a Corey Durden or a Jesse Motlop, mate. I'm not going to blow up. But you've got Harry and Charlie down there. You've got even Matt Owies, who was playing quite well as well as a lead up forward. But you've also got Silvani down there, who I reckon he was solid. He's been building the past few weeks. Just want him to convert a little bit more on the scoreboard. But once again, the IQ of this football club with going forward. It's I don't mind if you're going back, because you guys are professional footballers where you are meant to hit those targets. The football IQ for these professional footballers are when you get forward, what choices do you make? We were bombing it in when they would always have, we would have 2 players from our end, and there'd be 4 or 5 players, and they would always have a sweeper.
Yes.
All of a sudden, there would be a free player on the wing. Then they get it moving.
Yep.
Oh, it hurts my brain. And I reckon this is when we will transition now into the coaching side of things. Does this affect Michael Voss and his job?
Yeah, so with the coaching, it's tough because you look at the unforced errors, and I seriously don't think that's any of that stuff's on them at all. And the work ethic and the brain fades and mistakes, that's obviously on the players and the playing group as a whole, not good enough. But with the coaches, like we kind of touched on earlier, with when are we going to fix these things? What's going on? There's 5. What do you got? You got Vossy, you got Ash Hansen, you got Clarkey as the midfield coach, you got Aaron Hamill's defensive coach, you've got some other fucking coach, Luke Powers, some sort of fucking, I don't know what he is currently, but you got all these coaches. Every week you're focusing on improvements. Even when you're a good side, you're focusing on what can we improve on and evolve and change. And not change, it's just more, improve and grow. And they always talk about growth, Carlton, don't they? Where the fuck is the growth? There's no growth. And like I said before, if it keeps happening, Pato, it's the same cycle again. We got the wrong guys again.
Yeah.
Again.
And once again, I think that's when the noise that is outside the club, of course, the media will start to then ask, is Vossy in trouble? Of course, the supporters start to ask, is Vossy in trouble? Of course, the supporters of the AFL, people who watch the AFL, who know of Carlton, will ask, Michael Voss is in trouble. When is it going to actually click that it's not the coach? And once again, I think what I'm trying to say is we get it in there enough. We get the chance to get it in to convert on goal. It's always the efficiency inside 50 that the players just aren't skillful enough to convert and to actually make an effective disposal so they can get a scoring shot. And I'm sorry, I don't know if I'm the only person, and I need your opinion, and I need people, the viewers, of course, to comment what you think as well. Am I seeing a game plan that is actually kind of working? It's more just down to the conversion and the skill and the ball use of these players and the football IQ of what they make in that decision, and whether that is down to we aren't doing enough game management. That's, of course, on the coaches. But I'm sure they would be, especially after last year's like round 23 and round 22, what happened in those last few minutes. Do you reckon it is down to the coach, or do you reckon these players need to come out this week and have a press conference and say, this isn't down to the coaches anymore. It's down to the players in converting their role as professional footballers. Daff, what's your thoughts?
It's you've hit the nail on the head, I think. But it's I think in the footy world, unfortunately, it comes down to like in terms of as a whole, whose job goes. Or as the coach.
Yeah.
And it will be the coach again if it continues. It will be. Yeah. I guarantee you, even if I don't think it should be, or anyone, it will be.
It will be.
It just sometimes has to be. Unfortunately, I know it's tough, but I do agree. You can't be blaming coaches for shit errors. That that's on the players.
Yeah,
that's on the players. And but seriously, like you got that talent out there, Vossy, and you can't fucking fix it. That's when the pressure comes on. I agree. I'm just giving him time. But it's giving me Teague-esque vibes because that bombing and hoping, and that's 2021.
Yeah.
Footy.
Yeah.
We're like, we've got nothing, no answers for anything at all. And pressure's on every single one of them. We've been saying it for weeks.
Yeah.
Whole club, down from the top to bottom, president to fucking water boy, all under pressure. Seriously. And they don't never take accountability for the loss. Come out in your press conference and say, sorry to the fans. Have we heard that ever?
Never.
Like, it's actually unbelievable when you think about it in hindsight. Like, we've had some shockers, absolute shockers. But they go, we're good in some areas, but we just need to fix. Cut the crap.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously, you're going to be good in some areas. Don't be positive. We don't want positivity.
Yeah. Yeah.
When we're not playing well. You know what I mean? I want to hear it real and raw. Like in this podcast right now. We're not here to positively spin something. Like Luke Power at halftime and said, oh, we've got some good areas. Talk about what we're doing wrong. I want to hear that. You know that we're doing something wrong. You know what I mean? Like, obviously they do know on the inside, obviously they're talking about, obviously they take accountability for a loss. Crippo would, they all take accountability, the players as a whole, in a four walls. But I want to hear it. We pay, we're stakeholders. Without us, there isn't them. The sport as a whole. The AFL does not exist with its fans, and this club has been through the worst period in the worst club in the last 20 years. I don't know who's been worse off, really. Who's been worse? Melbourne got through it. They were terrible. They got through it. Richmond got through it. When is it going to happen?
When is it going to end?
When is it going to end?
Yeah. And we touched on through the week about how great it is that we had this podcast because we can come on and we can talk our minds. And I'm really excited for when we start to have that success to look back on that. But I reckon, like last episode, the Brisbane review, I spoke about how it was really hard to come on and speak about it and how just the passion has just died away a little bit. I was at the game tonight in my seat, and I'm like, "Oh, am I actually losing love for this club?" And that's the only thing that's holding me together was that one day when we are in September,
we'll lift the cup up.
When we win when we lift the cup up, that is the day when I'm going to look back and it might be this year. Might be 5 years, might be 10 years, might be 30 years. I might be 45 years old. Look back and I might be still doing this podcast with you, mate. And we'll look back, of course, in 2021, 2022, when we were like, God, we were pretty ordinary. But it's the motivation in me we just can't stop because we love the club too much. And I know that I will never stop loving this club.
Oh, 100%.
For however long I love this club and forever, however long I'm on this earth, I'm probably going to try and support this club and try to do his podcast as long as possible. So, and to touch on then as well about Vossy, is there a time? So, if you were the board and you had the decision of Michael Voss in your hands, when is it time for you? Of course, we back in Voss every single week, but if we lose the next 5, could you see us saying gone? Okay. Wow.
Gone.
Yeah.
There's not enough time. We don't have time.
Yeah.
The same with Teague. We don't have time to waste another year.
Yeah.
We don't. There's no time. Cripps is 28.
Mm,
Cripps is 28. And you said all these guys in their primes, whatever.
yeah.
The other guys have probably got a little bit more time, but we don't have time, man. You got to
No.
bite the fucking bullet.
Yeah.
You got to bite the bullet, or you go, we're fucking backing this guy in, but fucking fix it.
Yeah.
I mean, you go round 16. Imagine round 16, we lost 5 in a row, and they go, oh, we're backing him in.
Yeah.
Like, what do you say as a supporter? You go, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, really?
Yeah.
Like, really? Like, the next 4 were probably underdogs. Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I reckon the only one that's probably questionable.
Essendon won't come easy.
Yeah. Nah.
Big 2 meter Peter will be out there flying for marks, and Weeders will be trying to attack packs really late and letting his man go. But it'll come a time, Pato. That question is huge.
Yeah.
It's a round 16. We're out of the conversation of finals. How sad will that be? That's dead rubbers for the rest of the year. We rock up the games, no reward.
Nah.
You remember those games? Remember to be round 18? Oh, here we come, here we come. We might get a win here against fucking West Coast.
Yeah.
You know, oh, come on, boys. Come on, boys. Not good enough anymore.
Yeah.
Not good enough
Mediocre.
anymore.
Mediocre. Average.
Average.
Just overrated. In hindsight, just overrated, average. And
Yep.
if you aren't mediocre, average, all these words that the supporters are saying, and of course the media is saying about the club, prove us wrong. I want them to come out and perform. Prove us wrong.
That's all we want.
Yeah. Because I reckon out of every supporter base, I reckon their supporters are, of course, their biggest critic, because they know what the expectations are. So
we set the standard. We set the standard every year. We set it low, they'll be shit.
Yeah.
They'll be shit.
Yeah.
And we can accept that like other clubs, Norths and shit clubs.
Yeah.
They had that lower expectation, mid-table. Oh, it's all right. We'll be back next year. That's not us.
No.
That's not us anymore.
No.
And we had those years where, it was a good loss.
Yeah.
A good loss, like all that type of stuff, like we set the standard, and if we are setting the standard high now.
Yeah.
We're sick of it. That every week I don't give a fuck about next week we're setting the standard high again.
Yeah.
I'm not going, we'll take a 3-goal loss.
Yeah.
Nah.
So has that changed? That standard with you? So then with next week, has that standard changed with you?
No.
Nope. So you still expect us to win next week?
No, I don't think we will. I don't think we will. But why can't we?
Exactly.
That's frustrating. If we all go, throw in the towel, they'll look at that. They will see that. They do see it. Trust me. Listen to Blue Broad, some of those blokes. They'll listen to stuff. They won't say it. The club will be listening.
Yeah.
If we set the standards low and just go, we're happy with mediocre, middle of the table, they'll stay there. We want more and more, which we did last year, especially in 2021. We want more. Look at that, how we lifted as a club.
Yeah.
And the comments at the start of the week with all the final stuff, turn it up. Stop. Like, you're saying that stuff, you got, I know Cheras was a bit of clickbait for a lot of news places because you got to listen to the whole thing, but just, you can't be saying that stuff, man.
No.
We know they want the finals or bust.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So if we're somehow still in the 8th by the end of this round, Pato, but what are these fucking teams doing? Holy moly.
Yeah.
Shit. It's a shit competition if we're fucking in the 8th.
Yeah. And I reckon I actually reckon that's a good point about the whole expectations that we put on these players in the club that puts on their own standards. Because with last year, I reckon their standards were, well, we got a new coach, we're fresh, we got a new game plan, let's take it on. This year, everyone's saying, top 4. This list is good enough for top 4. This list is good enough for contendership for this Premiership Cup. Yep. So why can't they? The pressure gets to us probably more than every club. And I reckon, so one more thing to touch on Vossi, and I reckon I'm still going to try and stick. It's very hard to try and stick to my opinion about Vossi and saying that he is the right guy. And I just want your thoughts on this and see if this changes. I mean, I know that you still back Voss every single day of the week, but I reckon with me, I don't think he gets sacked even if we lose 10 games. Oh, well, if we lose 10 games in a row, it'll be a different story. But I don't reckon he should feel any pressure for this stat. So 21 shots inside 50. So we got 21 shots out of 50.
Yeah.
21. So we went at 42% efficiency inside 50 going forward. And our disposal efficiency was 69%, which is unbelievable. So we are obviously getting it in there. We won the hitouts. We once again won the disposals. We lost the inside 50s by 2. Does that change anything with the game plans actually working? It's just down to the execution.
Yeah, it's winning most stats, and I agree, you can't blame him, but maybe it's just the way we play with those stats. You know what I mean? Like, is that the right way of how we should play? Like winning the stoppages. Are we impactful enough winning that, like playing that way? And I think that's the issue with a lot of fans. You could be winning a lot of ball. There's a lot of teams in the league that get a lot of the ball and are very good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we're one of them. But yeah, going forward, that's all players. That's players, and not being able to hit targets is professional athletes. Athletes who focus too much on fitness and running instead of skills.
Yeah.
Back in the 90s, it was all skill based. I know it was different athletes, different game back then.
Yeah.
There's no fucking way Stephen Kernahan would kick balls like Harry Mackay does. Go back, kick the fucking goal. He's a leader.
Yeah.
Leader of the football club. And Harry can do all his running in the off season. Oh, he's doing running. He's putting extra work in. I love that. Love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. Maybe prioritise your fucking kicking.
Yeah.
Maybe prioritise that, and going forward, it's just not good enough. But oh mate, I'm just sick of it.
Yeah. So I reckon we'll touch on one more thing before we transition into the best player. So my last thing I'm going to touch on is particularly to do with, I guess, with the players itself. Do we? How am I going to put this? I'm going to put this in a way that I want to try and get it out correctly. So these guys where we put the Crippers, leader, Sam Doherty, leader, Walsh, leader, Wiedering, leader, Mackay, Kerno, leader. Are they giving themselves, that group, say there's 6 or 7, all right, as a group, are they putting themselves in a meeting every week, especially last week with that performance, but hopefully this week, are they actually doing a meeting and talking about what do we want to do as footballers, but also what do we want to do as a club? What do we want to do as a team? Unite. We are 44 players on the list, however many we have. We have this list together, which is act like it's an army, and we are taking on we're taking on the world in a sense.
Yep.
Are these leaders doing enough with their job, Daff?
I don't think so. I don't think they ever have, really. How much I love Cripper and you love Cripper and we love. He's a great captain of the club, and he's been through shit. But I think leadership groups as a whole. Sorry, they never lead as a group, do they? Like the way Wiedering's playing like a fucking VFL player. How important he is for this team in terms of leadership and body language. But yeah, simply to put it, mate, I just don't think they're leading enough.
No.
Maybe we need to bring in next year, maybe an older head. Maybe like I thought this year would have been a perfect year to bring in a Bruce.
Yeah.
Bruce or something like that.
Yeah. Or like a Gunson as well. Like Brisbane poached them at the perfect time.
Yep. playing for 2 years. You know, you're getting 2 years out of him. Give him a coaching role or some shit.
Yeah.
They know how to win a game of football. They know how to win a game of football. Bruce, 5 minutes to go, if he lines up for a goal, is he can kick it? Yep. He fucking will kick it.
Yep.
I know Hawthorn is struggling, but he's still kicking his goals. And yeah, he would have been the one that would have been nice as a small forward just for a couple of years.
Yeah.
I think we need to look at that. I think a lot of teams have that,
Yeah.
which we miss. We need a little bit of leadership in terms of older players. They don't have to be super old, you know, they don't have to be 30 fucking 3, but 29, 30, you know, that type of range.
Yeah.
You pay them a 2-year contract, not too much money, decent money, and they get the job done. And look at Gunston, for fuck's sake. He's the third forward at fucking Brisbane.
And he's performing.
And look at him.
Yep.
They're doing well. And look at Port Adelaide. They've got some older heads. Obviously, Travis Boak's been there forever, but look at him. He leads every single game.
Yeah.
They lose. He fucking picks up his teammates. He puts his head up, goes, you know, that's on us. Accountability. That's on us. And we go into next week fucking hard.
Yeah.
He plays his football hard. You know, he might not be a premiership player currently, but look at them now. They're third on the ladder, 6 in a row. They started 0-3.
Yeah.
We started 3-0 or 3.5-0 or whatever we were.
Yeah. Yeah.
And our mentality's worse than a side that's 0-3. And I think we just got to look at that. We just need a bit more experience. I don't know. It sounds fucking weird, but we do. I think we do lack it, don't we? We lack that kind of winning edge in terms of, you know, late in the game when you hit the front, you keep fucking going. You know, Bruce kicks a goal or whoever it is, like Brisbane had with Hodgie probably from 2017 to 19. I know they didn't win a flag, but they won a hell of a lot of games.
Yeah,
even down there. So, yeah, frustrating, mate. I can't believe I'm talking about fucking lists again.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think it is weird at all with us talking about just successful culture within the playing group. Because you think about it, how many of these players are premiership players? None. There's not a single premiership. None. There's not, like, of course, Hewitt and the Williams but they, in the sense of premiership glory, Daff, that's what we're working towards. This is a premiership, like, this is a professional league. This is like a league that is in a nation that we care so much about. Supporters know how much this means. Oh, so we'll touch on one more segment before we wrap up the episode. It's getting late. It's 20 to 1 on Sunday morning. So, of course, best player. This is going to be a short segment, but Daff, if you were to choose one player that could hold his head high after that game, who would you pick?
I've got Adam Sard, mate. I think he, fuck me, he's good, isn't he? Holy shit. Like, there's a few efforts there where he's running the whole ground and he takes a one-handed mark and then he's a pinpoint kicker. He's the only guy who can hit a target consistently. Only player. Probably him and Charlie. The two guys can hit a target. His pinpoint kicking opens up the game for us. He really set us up in that third quarter like he does. But we'll hear someone say, oh, but fucking Sard, he's too soft or something. Shut up. Seriously, there's so many more problems than individuals, I think, personally. Obviously, there are problems in terms of individuals, but we've got so many more fucking problems, which is annoying. But yeah, Sardi's just a phenomenal player, and he knows the club he's playing for. Yeah, he knows he has to go out there, do his job, and a little bit extra of his job, which he does every week, and takes his marks, hits targets, got pace, provides speed. He's a perfect 2023 footballer. Yeah, which we lack. Unfortunately, we're just slow and frustrating. But on your Sardi, keep it up, brother. Love you.
Yeah, I agree with Sard completely. And you touched on there about Sardi, about how he is. You can tell that he's chasing after that premiership glory. He wants that success. He knows the club that he's playing for. He knows that he's representing 89,000 members and 100,000 more of supporters around the world. He knows what he's playing for every single week. He knows. Another guy who knows what he's playing for. He's had to be a workhorse his whole career. He's had to put his head down, bum up. I'm talking about he's had to work his absolute ass off to be where he is now. And I'm going Matt Owies every single goal that he kicks.
He knows.
Fucking jumper.
Yeah.
He knows what it means to us. When he kicked that, it was his. I can remember the exact one. When he kicked his second goal of the game, and he was in that pocket. I was right there.
Yeah.
And that is the first time. I reckon that is the first time that I've gotten out of my seat and just looked at him in the eye and said, "Yes, that is what I'm talking about." Like that, it just looked, and I had goosebumps. I've had many goosebumps in my life watching Carlton, but I mean, not too many, but I have had goosebumps in my life watching Carlton. That was one of them because I just know how much he wants to win. He has that competitive edge. He has that. He just has the mindset.
Yeah, he does.
And you can tell, and that's when you start to think about like these individuals, because we always hear about how motivating Michael Voss is. So these players, there's players out there, there's probably half and half who can really has the competitive edges, but then there's the other half who just don't.
Yeah.
So, of course, that concludes the episode. That is on the run sheet. Of course, it's a little bit of more of an longer episode. I think it always is with a review. Daff, unfortunately, we've kept you. We've set up to 12:40 to record this. We had to do it straight after the game. We're going to release it at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Of course, Mother's Day. We send a happy Mother's Day to all of our mothers. Happy Mother's Day to my mum. You want to send a happy Mother's Day to Kerry, to be kids. But yeah, I think it's. I think just now it's. I just think there just has to be a new type of destination for this club. But Daffy boy, is there anything else you want to touch on for this episode?
I'm going to force you not to tip us this week on the preview. I'm not tipping us. No. Lock it in. If I tip us, I'll pay every person watching this video $100. I will not be Collingwood 20+.
Yeah.
The way we play it, they're not showing enough. And it's worrying, man. Worrying. Why? I want to go to the football and enjoy it. And I don't think I've ever really, you have your moments. We've always had our moments. And you always, you want to put those moments in a bottle and keep them forever. But unfortunately, that's not how football works. And we've got to get through it. They've got to get through it. We'll get through it. I know we will. We'll see the other side of it. And hopefully success is around the corner, Blue Baggers. So onward upwards for 2024.
Trade period, mate. Let's bring in the
not again.
Oh, I mean, if you don't cry, you laugh. Generally, you just have to remember that it is just a game of football. We both know how much it means to us. It pretty much is our life. It's on our minds every single day. So as always, David Boy, it's an absolute pleasure doing a podcast with you, mate. Every episode, trying to guide this podcast forward and hopefully trying to jump on the success and I was going to say Teague trade, Vossy trade. Oh. But hopefully just try and see some success very soon in the near future. But of course, we will be back next week to preview the Collingwood game as always. But I've actually got my flag here. I didn't wear I reckon that's the first episode that I haven't worn my flag scarf. So I reckon that is the first time. But it's actually good because I don't think they really need to I don't think they really deserve it. Just like they didn't really need a Google Docs. Daffy boy. So to the viewers, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Try to get around the channel. We're trying our absolute best to try and bring out as much content as possible. We're both very busy, but we both love the club too much to not do the episode. So as always, Daffy boy and the Blue Baggers out there, up the Baggers.